to our own health and how we see ourselves in this world was really different at the time. I was coming across a lot of different sort of medicalized information and professionals, and the way that you spoke had so much more passion and heart and conviction in your words, and just how you wanted to help other people, especially your patients and your clients and the people that you were seeing. And so yeah, maybe we can get stuck into this concept of self-love, because I feel like it is a buzzword that's been flying around, in the recent years, but I feel like you've been speaking about this for a long time now. So maybe let's start with it. Like, what is this word of self-love, and how can we go deeper with it rather than just saying it? How can we actually embody it?
Well, it doesn't come out of a fortune cookie. And the reality is that it's going to be tried to be commercialized, and it's getting commercialized right now. And but not everybody has beautiful beliefs or thoughts. And you can go and love the world and love everybody that you want, but until you unconditionally. So I don't talk about self-love. It's not self-love. It's unconditional love for yourself. So that means that you're not allowed to have guilt. If you want to have guilt, then you don't learn, you burn. If you want to burn, then you'll decide from your thoughts, which aren't your thoughts because you don't have your own beliefs, because most people don't, the 85%. To actually make your conscious mind yours, you would have to have unconditional self-love, self-love images. And the reality is this: when you go to do that, most people aren't going to be able to pull it off. Your organization is called Families for Freedom. Mm-hmm. I think that's the most beautiful name in the world. If you didn't have it, I'd probably take it from you. And every individual in that family is responsible for filling up their own heart with love so that they could be thankful. Now, whether you cannot give each other love. You can only trigger the love that's already in another person. That's why when you leave, people get hurt. If somebody were to pass on from this planet, it's devastating. Okay? Hearts break. Hearts get empty. The reality is heart disease is the main killer, because on this planet, without unconditional love, we will be slaves forever. And I don't care, families first, and if that's all they did, they would never be a slave, because you would not allow anybody to do anything to you that wasn't based on someone else. So help me God. That's it.
Wow. So powerful. I think I might jump in here. First off, I'd love to say, brother, I love your t-shirt. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the colors, the flowers, everything. It really took me by surprise. I go, wow, that's a beautiful shirt. And I always say, I just love how you just touched on that unconditional love, because for me personally, we're both Samoan heritage in the Pacific Islands. And
you're what heritage? What heritage?
Samoan.
Oh, really? Beautiful. Well, yeah.
So the Pacific Islands, yeah. I grew up personally with a lot of tough love, so to say. It was a very traditional upbringing by my parents, and as a kid, I never really felt that unconditional love. It was always, abiding to my parents' sort of belief system back then, and I know for a fact it was just they were parents from their own experiences, so to say. So having children now, especially we have two older boys, Ziggy and Hendrix, who just turned 7 and 4, and we've got a beautiful young daughter who's 7 months. It's really interesting how I'm navigating this parenting, where I'm coming from a conscious mind, and I really want to parent them with that unconditional love, because I find it challenging at times.
Well, you won't when you do one thing. Okay.
What's that, brother?
Oh, you brought them in as your spirit guides to come here, because every one of those children, okay, they focused on either you or your wife, but they focused on both of you. And that's why their personalities are different. And when they have a tantrum, you need to look at your wife and say, was that the way I do my tantrum, or is that the way you do your tantrum?
Yes, I love this.
Now, understand something.
You look
To,
at me and say it's me.
yeah, but to punish a child is to punish yourself. And that's why you're punishing the child, is because you're punishing yourself, because your child mirrors who you and your wife are, because they are the blessing that was sent here and said, hey, I'm a pure spirit, I'm coming, I'm here to help you, you and mommy do something that you never did before you got together. Daddy, you didn't unconditionally love yourself before mommy. You used her to fill up your heart. Mommy, you used daddy to fill up your heart. And that's why after 6 months to 2 years, you say, you are different. No, you're not different. You just can't keep on filling each other's tank, because to be tankful, it's a self-serve job. And your child already comes in with a full tank, and they're trying to get you to understand that from 0 to 7, your parents, okay, that were adulterated you, and that's why by the time you're a teenager, you're looking for a new family.
So powerful. Yeah, and like just to go on with that, we've definitely had many discussions how we exactly want to parent our kids, and we just find it very interesting. We know that for a fact that whatever we don't express ourselves, like you just said, our children will mirror that, and they will show us what we're not looking at. And it's quite interesting how you said in regards to tantrums.
Well, here's the deal, and please don't get me wrong, but adults shouldn't have children. That's that. They should not have children. Teenagers have a better chance of raising children because they still have some spirit and some joyfulness. The reality is that the world is a judgment world. It's not a justice world. And if it was a justice world, we would know that they came to reprogram us, okay, to retrain our brain, to get us back into unconditional love. Because guess what? You're not going to have dis-ease, because you only have dis-ease depending on, I have this negative belief, this negative belief, this negative belief. They come together to create a master belief, and that might be called heart disease, or it could be called cancer or diabetes. So you need to understand, issues in the tissues start on a psychological level, then move into a biological level, and then guess what? And then we've got, and I don't want to get into this because I know that's not what it's about, but the reality is the game down here, it's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure where the psychos will always be able to hold the purse strings, because we weren't here to do anything except play the game properly and find the unconditional love. And you know what? As soon as I had unconditional love for myself and I didn't chase the dollar, I didn't care how much money I made, now I make enough money to be able to just share it with the world. I mean, we've just created an app, okay, that's going to be called Touched. And we are going to touch everybody around the world. And we've created a website that if nobody ever spends 1 penny with us, our goal is to teach them how to unconditionally love themselves first and foremost and stand in that power. You know, we'll talk about our creator. We were created by unconditional love, pure love, right? Well then, if we mimic that, that's the only thing that's going to set us free.
And how do we mimic that? Because I feel like in a world today with so much distractions and social media and pressures and expectations, I guess, you know, a lot of people are struggling with the basics of actually to start.
Do you want to know why? Because you're still looking for approval from your husband and all your friends and all your family and everybody else. And I don't need anybody's approval to be me. And guess what? I'm not going to take it personal. When we start off a course here, I just say this, I'm not going to take it personal. My job when you leave here is to totally love yourself. I would like you to like me, but if you don't, I don't really care. I need to crack open that coconut and understand that when you center into yourself and you do that for the rest of your life, you are not taking anything away from this world. You are bringing to this world what it needs. And you need to mind your own business. So massive personal action, minding your own business, never trying to heal anyone, change anyone, okay? Just try to become the light and shine that light. You know, you guys want to change your children. You want to change everybody around you. That is so bloody exhausting. It will never happen. You got to be fine with that your family, your friends aren't going to change. And if you don't want to change your personality, you can't change your reality. If you don't want to let people go, okay, that have decided to stay here when you're trying to come up here. And this is not disrespectful, but the herd, the majority, will always be gobble, 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 gobble. And then we'll have some people that will be eagles. And when there's conflict down here, okay, conflict and chaos, they spread their wings, they fly up above the chaos, and they go, let them do what they need to do. And when they're all done, we'll land and help pull it back together again.
I love that. And so is that sort of, I guess, the perspective that you've taken on for the last, 2-3 years, when we've been living, it feels like, in a very hostile world full of division. I would love to know how you actually experienced it and how you stayed grounded and centered throughout all of it, when you could see clearly there's a bigger agenda at play here.
Well, I don't know if you're going to like my answer, though.
We're here for it all, brother. We're here
Okay,
for it all.
all right, these psychos, okay, they're the cleanup crew. They're the cleanup crew. They're not after me. I challenge them on my show all the time. I challenge the medical system, the corporations. I don't have nothing against Bill Gates. I wish him the best. I do not wish him the worst. All he wants you to do is to hate him, because you can't touch him. And then, the people that have these certain beliefs, they'll go, oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Well, he's never going to get it. Okay? And, oh yeah, but he's going to get it when he passes on. Really? Why don't you just get it and mind your own business and understand something? This world before COVID, okay? Oh, it was just so special. It wasn't corrupt. People weren't hurting themselves and their children. Oh no, everything was just beautiful. If anything, it's awakened the people that want to be awakened. Those that don't want to be awakened. What do these psychos call this? They call this the period of the harvest. And what they're doing is they're harvesting the low-hanging fruit, the low vibrational fruit. You're either going to bring your vibration up and totally learn how to love yourself, stop punishing yourself, stop judging yourself and everybody else. How do you feel when you judge someone? How do you feel? That distracts you, that brings your vibration down. How does it feel that when you use the belief systems, okay, that your father and mother gave you, that they didn't know they gave you, and you use those belief systems on yourself, you are distracted, you become low vibrational, and you become sick. But there is no sickness. Every symptom where you lack energy, every symptom where you have inflammation, where you have swelling, where you have stiffness, or you have pain, is when you're out of harmony and you aren't feeding your spirit. If you fed your spirit, you wouldn't have to worry about your body. The reality is how are you going to get to the point with all your friends, family, neighbors, and everybody that knows you now, when you start really, truly loving yourself, honoring yourself, and respecting yourself, they are going to try to pull you back down because it's going to be uncomfortable for them. So the reality is most people aren't going to make it. When I tell people, when you take a whole life coach course, we're going to do it. These 25 practitioners that I just finished with over this last 9 days, they're changed forever. They're never going back there. But you got to remember something. You don't even know that you're unconscious. You don't even know that the belief systems aren't yours. And you think that that's as good as it gets. And understand this. You know what? You can have a relationship with someone, like your marriage, okay? And guess what? You'll never fight again. And it's not because you're suppressing it. It's not because you're a yes woman or a yes man. It's because you're two spirit beings that have come together for a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure on planet Earth, and you knew the only game in town was if you unconditionally love yourself, mind your own business, go after your own dreams and your own goals, you're going to have them, and you're going to have everything. So let's do this. Let's don't do that. Let's watch TV. Let's listen to the majority of our friends and family. They have nothing good to say. It's just diarrhea coming out. And they don't even know it. They think that if they talk about fear, if they talk about the end times, if they talk about what's wrong, that they're going to be able to stop it or they're going to be able to prevent something. I'm not going to discuss anything. Nothing comes in this tent. Okay, no religion comes in this tent. No politics comes in this tent. No fear-mongering comes in this tent. Unconditional love, because there's no health care except self-care. There's no love except self-love, and that self-love has to be unconditional love. It's not an arrogant thing. If you don't know how to respect, honor, and protect your body, let me ask you a question. You said you have children, right?
Yeah, we got 3 beautiful children.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How much of their heart do you want to have ownership over? So, mommy, you probably fill up their heart maybe 30%, daddy 40%, or it's the other way around. Okay, and then their brothers and sisters fill up their heart too. Why don't we just stop it? You should not be in there. What you should be doing is teaching your children to completely love themselves, because guess what? Now your daughter is not going to just pull her pants down because she needs to be filled up by someone. Now your son is not going to be trying to get attention, whether it's good or bad, or he's going to be just being destructive. Because the reality is this: every time that we come apart, or somebody passes on that fills up our heart, and I mean that somebody, I counted on them to make me tankful. They had to fill up my heart at least 30% a day. My kids, another 40% a day. I did about 6% a day. My friends did the rest. How does it feel when your wife, okay, when she's not feeling good and she's not paying attention to you? But she's not trying to pay attention to you. There might be something going on that she's dealing with. But because you're used to that, okay, the reality is this. Did you ever feel and want to ask her, what did I do wrong? Did you ever do that? Did you ever, what did I do wrong? And she said nothing. But no, you're responsible for her happiness, because you were the one that she said, you fill my heart up.
Yeah, so true.
All right.
No, that's huge, yeah. And like, one thing that we definitely, our communication is key. And when we know when we're not connecting well, we're not expressing what's actually on our hearts, that we can also, just be like 2 ships passing by in the middle of the night. So it's really important that we have that weekly check-in. But it's beautiful what you said in regards to, letting our kids make sure they fill up their own hearts. We homeschool, we're with our kids 24/7. We live on a farm. We let them do their own things. We're on that sort of Steiner-based
and all of that is great.
Curriculum.
All of that is great.
Yep.
But guess what? You need to tell your children that it's very important, sweetheart, that you fill your heart up with you. That is the only thing that actually protects you in your life. That brings up your vibration. You'll heal quicker. You will not get sick as fast, and you won't stay there. And you also won't get hurt by other people.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think that's a good reality check for, every parent, really, because, we're definitely guilty of thinking that, if you buy them whatever,
so I don't mean to cut in.
Whatever it is, then.
I don't mean to cut in, but you notice what you just said? We're guilty. You're not guilty of anything. You were given, okay, first of all, the only reason why they can take the diaper and take it off our butt and put it on our face is because we're guilty. All right?
True.
There will be no more tyrants when there is no more slaves. And the only place that you're enslaved, okay, is in your mind, okay? All right? It's not your heart. The only place is here. And that's because you actually believe the beliefs that your peers, your parents, okay, the schooling, they call it school because you just got schooled, okay? And this is why they hogtied 8 billion people to fall for this. I'm not falling for this. I go on my all my platforms and I just go, come and get me. Come and get me. They don't want me. They want the low-hanging fruit. They want the people that fill their basket up with what we would call new and improved food or junk food. And no, either it's food or it's junk. Look at 90% of all the diseases right now never existed 90 years ago, and 90% of all the food that's in everybody's cupboard never existed 90 years ago. So people are disrespecting, dishonoring themselves, okay? We don't have to worry about these psychos anymore. We all are just unconsciously poisoning ourselves and our children. And because too many of the majority of the population is dysfunctional. And the majority of the population is hurt. And hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like we just do it to ourselves, hey? And that just came out of my mouth unconsciously. And it's like, wow, actually, yeah, thank you for stopping me, because I realized, yeah, we're so like just playing into that narrative, and to actually build and gain the awareness around it, like it takes a lot of like conscious awareness to bring that through, especially with what we find with our children in particular, like all of our stuff is then coming up, and you're trying to like really be with your children. And if you, especially as you were growing up, like if you weren't taught, to fill you up with your own heart and your own love, and it's like, then you have children and you realize, wow, like we've got to start again. Hey, because they do it so naturally, like they've come through, and we see how fully alive they are, fully expressed in their love expression. And then, we get in the way, don't we? And we don't even realize how, and all the ways that we are getting in the way, even though we are trying, every parent in our community definitely is trying their best, but it's like, definitely can see how, that we're actually not teaching our children to fill their own cups like to full capacity, and actually outsourcing it to different things. And I think that's definitely a key takeaway from this call, personally for us, and obviously, our beautiful members on this call, is that if the one thing that you can do after this call, leaving this as a takeaway, is start to really get your children to fill themselves up with their own love, and then they will never be enslaved. They will never feel like they have to outsource or reach outside of themselves for anything. I think that's the most powerful form of freedom legacy that we can pass on to them.
Can I give you a couple tips?
Please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Well, make sure that you get your address to me, and we'll send you like a couple hundred of these love bands. But you can use right now.
Amazing.
What you can use right now is get the hair bands from your daughter, get them around your wrist, tie a little knot that you can grab. This is called a love band. This is called a kiss. We're snapping back into the present moment. This is snug as a hug. Teach your children this. Tell your children when they feel fear or when they don't feel love, okay, they're just going to do this, a little like this. This is the kiss. 3, 2, 1, I got this. There's a new sheriff in town. I totally love myself. Okay? And then what about you two doing the couples connection, where you sit down and spread your legs, and then she faces you and comes right in, and you put your arms around each other. Her legs are above you, and do that for 10 minutes, just looking in each other's eyes. And then I'll make you a challenge that you will have never felt as deep love and as close, the two of you. If you are ever hitting a really hard time, someone's really sick, the world's in chaos again, something's going on with your children or your life, do the couples connection. And then have your children do the couples connection, where they come together and they put their arms around each other, looking in each other's eyes, especially the children that can't get along and are fighting. I guarantee you, this is their punishment, and it's not a punishment. They're going to come together and sit like this, put their arms around each other, stay quiet, connect to each other's breath, breathing in and out to feel each other's breath coming in and out, slight smile on their face, and go for 10 minutes. And then the family sits there and says, okay, how do you feel about each other? And understand something. And then get your children, every time they go out to play, they have to look in a mirror, have it by the door, okay? All right? And all they do is go like this. I love you. I love you. I got you. You remember when we used to be teenagers, we'd go out, if we looked at a mirror on the way out, we were looking for trouble. Okay? But what we want to do is make sure that our children love, honor, and respect themselves, because they're not going to get into the alcohol, they're not going to get into the drugs, and they're definitely not going to pull their pants down to fill themselves up with love when they've been left empty. Because you can say what you want, but it's like a unicorn. The two of you had empty hearts until you found each other. Okay? Yeah, it's okay. I was single for a while, but I was lonely. Well, the reality is we never want to be lonely again. And that's because we have been taught to dishonor ourselves. So the big problem is, are you going to be able to dishonor, dysfunctional beliefs that you're still dragging like toilet paper on the back of your heel.
That's so true. I think, yeah, sorry, you go on.
I was just going to say one last thing, and that's this. Until people do a Braveheart Circle for a week with me, or do a whole life coach if they're professionals, they don't even know what I'm talking about. I can't even explain this. People go, oh, that's nice, that's sweet. Ooh, if we could. Oh, wow, that's okay. But remember something. The only reason why everybody is enslaved is because these psychos, you know, they go, hey, I don't like you and you don't like me, but let's get together and hate on the herd. And if we do that, we will have the power and the control, okay? And that's what they do. And that's exactly what goes on. So the reality is that they used strategy and repetition. If you were able to create a perfect day from the moment you woke up on an emotional, physical, nutritional level, nobody would own you again. Because guess what? The world's not going to change. Only you can change. Everybody can keep on going on about this. And we can protest, that helps. But the thing is, if you want to get even, okay, get self-loving.
I love that.
So true. We've definitely moved away from that fight. It's like the person that you fight, you become. And it's definitely been a shift of moving away from that energy and just actually focusing on what's ourselves and what's right in front of us. And raising our vibration. We definitely believe that when you are in the frequency of love, they can't get you. No one can touch you.
Here's the deal. I see you. I see you. I feel you. I'm coming to Australia.
Yeah, Kof Saba.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you both my course for free. It's $10,000. And then you're going to take that course because I know you're going to appreciate it. And if you don't show up, it wasn't meant for you. If you want to come up and you want to show up, you can start teaching things that I tried to gift you. The reality is that we have to come together. We have to stop. Okay, we got to stop hating this religion. Okay, this person. They want us to keep on going like this. We are all spirit beings. We are created by the same creator. Someday we're going to leave and understand something. We're all just down here and being tested because it is one law, one love throughout the universe. I don't care where you go in the universe. I believe that there's many dimensions, billions of different species. It's just one big Sony station play game. And you know what? If you'd like to move on to the next level, it's going to take unconditional love for yourself and everyone else.
Yes. And okay, so speaking of that, if people wanted to work with you, or is it just practitioners that get to train with you? Do you actually take on?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we?
Can I show you something and then we can go back to talking? Is it okay?
Please.
You ready for my pitch?
Yes.
Here comes
absolutely.
my pitch. Here it comes. Okay. All right. So we're coming to Australia. This is when the course is. First of all, that's not when the course is. I'll be in Melbourne on the 3rd and Brisbane on the 4th. Okay. And it's called Emotional Intelligence for Permanent Health and Healing. And what I do in the first half hour is I show you that everything is an image. Your life is just a movie. You're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, and you decided to have a horror story, okay, or a drama trauma, or you decided a love story adventure where you get to save yourself and your family at every given present moment, which is 1/10,000th of a second, okay? And I go through that to show that image becomes thought, thought becomes what? Thought becomes what? Belief. Action. Belief then creates a frequency. The frequency then releases either dose, which is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, or hack, which is histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, which most people are doing 24/7 now. So I go through and I show how to recreate and that the brain is neuroplastic. That's the first hour and a half. And I show you that when you do this changing, even though nobody else is doing it, but just remember, if you want different, you better be different, okay? And that means that if you want to be different, that means you're going to have to what? Stand out? And if you want to be different, you want to be outstanding in this life, you better stand out. So then I teach that first, and then the last hour and a half, I show the whole domino effect from the psychological to the biological, and then I show how we've been set up from, from a victim to a limp, to a cane, to a walker, to a wheelchair, to depends. There's only a whole row of depends in every Costco waiting for everybody to poo and pee themselves as adults, okay, because we've lost it and we've rotted out inside. That's what we're doing. Every disease, if you could open up that person and smell that disease area in the body, it would smell like rotting flesh, okay? So it had to start off in the invisible realm to come to the physical realm, because what you think matters, what you think creates matter. Okay, just like you and your husband came together, and through the love for yourselves and each other, you're able to actually call out a spirit being and bring it into your womb, and then it actually then became a spirit being having a physical journey. Or you could get into self-loathing instead of self-love, and you could create a tumor, and then you could just blow your life up. So autoimmune disease is called, what is it? The body attacking itself? That's not true at all. Autoimmune disease is you attacking yourself on an unconscious level, and then the body just taking the cues from this. So I'll be doing a 3-hour lecture in those two places. People can call Thora Klein at +61 413 993 493 or Thora at tklifestylesolutions.com. And we are going, let me show you here. We are going to the most beautiful place in Coffs Harbour, Australia, to teach this. Well, the New World Practitioner goes from October 26th to November 16th. First, it's me, whole life coach. Okay, that's where we go hardcore. Remember something, how many natural health practitioners are there compared to medical doctors? Whoa, tens of thousands more, but the world's not getting better. So until the practitioner changes, the world won't change. And you can only give what you are as a practitioner. So we're going to go in there, and the practitioner comes and goes, well, I'm a chiropractor, I'm a naturopath, I'm a medical doctor, or I've always wanted to be a practitioner, because we have a support system that we can prove that the first course they take, they'll have it paid off before the next one. They'll have it paid off before the next one if they want to be a master practitioner, or they want to go farther and become a master trainer and help us train around the world. We are going really global with this thing. So New World Practitioner starts, Whole Life Coach is 9 days. There's a day off in the middle, and that's where it's the 4 pillars: nutrition, emotional, okay, physical, all right, and we go into the body, and we show how everything is a domino effect of everything and how it's all attached. If you get the picture, we give you the full picture. And then Wolfe Non-Surgical is our body work. That's from November 5th to the 16th, and that's 12 days with a day off. And right after that, this is the most important course for any woman. This is our pelvic restoration and disease prevention. It's 3 days, and guess what? We can heal everything: endometriosis, bladder infections, tumors, infertility, okay? Ovarian cysts. I hope you know that. Did you know that 95% of all low back surgeries are caused because you were pooping in your pelvis? Did you know that all prostate problems are because you were pooping in your pelvis and you were stagnating waste right in here? Okay, did you know that 85% of all disease is from pooping in your pelvis, but you're going to tell me you have good bowels, because everybody says they do, but they don't even know the art of how to become number 1 at the art of number 2. And there's a video I have, it's for families, it's in my library, called How to Become Number 1 at the Art of Number 2. Watch that. And for the first time in your life, you'll understand that every bowel movement is a computer printout. Okay? So the pelvic restoration course is only 3 days. And then on October the 18th to the 24th, we'll be doing another course during that period. And that course is called the Braveheart Circle. Okay? All right? It's called the Braveheart Health and Healing Circle. And that's for the general public who say, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I'm a drug addict. I can't take this anymore. Honey, we're going to divorce if we don't get this together. I can't take it anymore. I got to learn to love myself. I don't want to live on this planet and struggle anymore. You know, or people that just say, look at, I know there's a higher love, and I know that as a human being, I have unlimited potential when I feed my spirit. That's it.
Wow.
And if
I
people
feel like this is so meant to...
If people go to
sorry.
nwpworldtour.com, they can get more information. We have a new website going up in just 1 week. It's taken us a long time because I only decided to do the world tour 8 weeks ago. So we booked all over the world. So we leave here, I leave here in less than 4 weeks, and then I don't finish until Thanksgiving in United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's literally a world tour for most of this year.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is so perfect because Coffs Harbour is literally our closest town. We live out on a farm, and it's like an hour and a half away from us. And that's, honestly meant to be so divinely guided and timed. And
well,
I feel like
take a look at it, consider it, mull it over, and you know, it's a gift. Now, the reality is, will you be able to accept it? A lot of people can't do that. They don't have enough time, but now we know it's not going to cost you money. So the reality is this, you know, if it fits in your wheelhouse, if it's something you want to do, it's there for you, okay?
definitely something I'll be doing.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think that, personally, because, I've watched you speak like in person live, I think that just the way that you get up on stage and just how you communicate, there's something about not necessarily like the words that you say sometimes, it's actually just how you are. It's the energy that I can feel that's so alive on stage. That is an activation. If you are sitting in that seat receiving that, and that's something that I took away from that and got from you. So I know if any of our members are to attend and make the journey up to Coffs Harbour, I know for sure it will absolutely be worth it, because just experiencing you for that hour that I got the truth about cancer was mind-blowing, and it made me feel so inspired leaving after that to genuinely take care of myself and really have a look at all the ways in which I'm not loving myself and how I can actually clear that out. And for us, we started off this year very disciplined in loving ourselves, right? When it came to nutritionally and physically, emotionally, taking time out. We have a creek, so we'll go by ourselves and really just be in our own energy. And when we are in our own energy and we're tapped in, the biggest thing that does come through is love. And I start to smile and I laugh and I'm like, wow, like this is really all there is. It's like, it's just, this is what it's about. It's love.
What if you could turn that on and keep it turned on? What if there could be a trauma crisis in the family and you didn't go in and tear yourself apart because you believed that suffering was the way?
A lot of people are addicted to suffering but don't know it. Hey. Yeah. I think that's a big one. Yeah.
It's one.
There's been so many things.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ones, actually.
I feel like there's been so many takeaways from so many things to think about after this call.
I guess I'll probably on my last one, if that's okay. I guess just from, you touched on just filling yourself up spiritually, and like, is there any, I guess, tips, tricks, or something that you suggest for us and for our members just to consider implementing into their day, just to, I guess, start them off in a beautiful setting, and so when whatever life throws their way, they're always feeling centered and grounded in their own personal, I guess, being. So if there's anything you have for us, brother Dr. Darrell, I'm not too sure.
But sometimes my little things for takeaways can kind of irritate people.
Okay. As I said, we're here for it all, brother.
Well, just know this: that which created the universe has never judged you. And if you believe that, then you are going to be a slave forever. That which created the universe is beyond love. So don't ever say that which created the universe loves you. I think that is a misnomer. I think you better watch out that man likes to get his hands into every book and every story. And just because a story is old doesn't make it good. Just because everyone's telling it doesn't make it right. And guess what? What do you think would happen if you wrote your own story? And that story was just based on you being the most beautiful thing that was ever created in the universe. And that your children were just these beautiful little light beings that came to help for you to rise. What happened if we were to get rid of all punishment? All punishment. What if we were to sit down, no matter how you were raised, and you believe that if this deserves this much punishment and that deserves this much punishment, we erased it all. And we sat down and we said, honey, why'd you do that? Do you think you'll do it again? Is it because you're angry? Is it something that we've done to you? Is it something that you feel that you're lacking? Or what is it that we need to do? And that's how I eventually started not raising my children, because I don't raise my children raise me. Okay? And you know what? I just want everybody to just get rid of all the stories. Get rid of all the stories and rewrite and make your own story and make it the most beautiful, unconditional love story. Okay? Where, you don't tag punishment onto anything, especially when it comes to yourself. What would happen with your children if they saw two spirit beings in love with each other instead of a husband and a wife? To death do us part, for richer or poor, for sickness and in health. Where you say, no, we're only having health. Sorry, get rid of that one. Richer or poor, forget it. I'm an abundant being. I can have it all. There's enough of everything down here on this planet for everyone. Okay, there's no climate problem. Okay, the sun is not evil. Okay, the reality is that there's enough of everything. And we just need to rise. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's a game. It's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure for those who don't learn the rules, but don't break the rules, but make their own rules. And the first one's got to be one love, one law, unconditional love for everything. And understand something. Never have that word hate come out again. I hate asparagus. Really? Wow. What did it do to you? Okay, they want us to speak like this. Don't hate anything. And if you're hating something, don't focus on it. Okay? When I say unconditional love for everything, I don't go to bed and pray for Bill Gates every night. I don't pray for him to suffer, but I don't pray for him to wake up, because he's not going to. He comes from a long lineage of people that have a pact with an evil entity on this planet. You can go back, I hope you know, you can go back hundreds and even thousands of years with most of these families, and they're all related. Yeah. How many people know that every president except for one was related in the White House? The reality is, welcome to the game, okay? And don't let them shame you ever again. And mind your own business, and do not fear them. Do not fear them. I would rather live one day being sovereign, okay, than having any fear. And you can get rid of fear completely, okay, when you understand the only thing they have is to dispense that. They have nothing else that they can do.
I love that.
So
Yes.
that was an epic way to finish this call. And you're so right. That's definitely what we believe as well. Yeah. The more we are out of fear, the less that they can harm or touch us or come anywhere near us. And we definitely have been on the receiving end of a lot of nasty stuff in this world, but we've managed to rise above and stay in our hearts and lead by example, and hopefully try to teach other people to do the same. And
if they're talking about you and talking bad about you, good, you made a difference. That's what you wanted. That was your badge of honor. I have somebody coming after me every week. I already told you,
Yeah.
I'd rather be a brave heart for one day, okay, all right, than a broken heart for another 25 years.
That's so true.
You know, because I am an
Nah,
eternal
that's-
being. You know, everybody talks about, oh, we're going to live to eternity. We're all spirit beings, blah, 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 blah. I know that I'm not. I know I was not created to be diminished. And the only way I can diminish myself is if I do it to myself.
So true.
Yeah.
Massive.
Thank you so much, brother. Honestly, you've it's morning time over here in Australia, so you've definitely started off our beautiful Wednesday off with a bang.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your time on your day off over there in Mexico for joining our beautiful Families for Freedom community. I'm sure the rest of the families will catch up on the replay and just be inspired like we have this morning because yeah, I'm ready to
Take action.
And just know
unconditionally
something.
love myself first and foremost, and love this one also.
Yeah, and just know something. You guys are the gift already, okay? You guys are the blessing already. I mean, just the way you talk, the energy that's coming through this computer, I feel more love from you than I feel from people that are only 2 feet away. So you're already there, okay? Have a beautiful day, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.